Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. Hope that you're having a good day so far. We finally made it to Friday. So today we are going live to a luncheon that's happening right now. Governor Andy Beshear, he's going to be the keynote speaker at the Jeffersontown Chamber luncheon. It's happening at the Founders Union at University of Louisville, their conference center there on the Shelby campus. They're getting started, so we're going to jump in.
But I don't see her, but she might be rolling in your house ahead. Also, our Jeffersontown PTA is here calling me younger. There she is. I'm calling you. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Also, a big thank you to our Jeffersontown Chamber Board of Directors. I don't usually make them stand, but if you'll raise your hand and everybody knows you're here supporting us, whole bunch in the back. Thank you all so much for your support and helping us bring things together like this. Also, I want to thank our sponsors. Today, our event is presented by Miranda Construction. We have Ryan and Miranda here who will introduce the governor, but we have a couple of supporting sponsors as well. And they've been on the scroll, and hopefully you have seen them. University Eye Care, Broker provided our centerpieces today. We also have Jeffersontown and Park Community Credit Union. So let's give them a big round of applause for supporting our event today. So please enjoy your salads, and as you are finishing up, they'll get you your main course, and we'll get started just in about 15 minutes. And thank you all so much for being here.
This is nice.
Everyone. We're going to go on and start our formal program so that we can stay on time. I don't want to be the reason why Governor Beshear is late for his next appointment. So please feel free to keep eating and enjoying your lunch and building your network, and afterwards you can follow up on the conversations that I'm interrupting. So I apologize for that. But welcome. This is the first time, at least since I've been in this chamber, that we have had the privilege of having Governor Beshear with us, and I could not be more honored to have him here. I know he's going to talk about a lot of things, but what an amazing time we have had with the crisis and some of the heartaches that our state has had, and you have really stepped up and made people feel good about being Kentuckians. So thank you for that. We have a pretty good mayor right here in Jeffersontown as well. Jeffersontown is a big partner to our chamber. We do a lot of things in partnership with them. And I am very happy to present the mayor of Jeffersontown, Mayor Earl Hunt.
Thank you. I y'all can't see me because of the recording so loud. It makes me feel better. I want to look at you. Did you notice? First of all, I want to thank Miranda for sponsoring this event today. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate that. I want to thank Governor Beshear for all the work that he has had in Tulsa's way since he's been governor. If I thought, I know what I had thought, okay, my way is getting there. If I had to deal with what you deal with, I could have done it. So my hats off to you. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Jeffersontown is one of the most important economic development drivers in this region. We have a bluegrass park, we have a trifecta crossings, and it's home to a lot of businesses. And more businesses are coming daily. Right now we have we have I think Big Little Tea, Baptist Health, Vanderbilt, West Care, just to name a few. And I'm excited about the other big building that they are building over there was Baptist. So thank you to everybody that is coming to J-Town, to business in J-Town. We need you, and I won't ask you what you can do for me. I'm going to ask you what I can do for you. So if you have a problem in the park, or if you have a problem with your business, please let me know. We've got a great police department. I've got a great economic development department, and we are here for you. So you've got to ask me, because I won't know unless you tell me. At night, we have 30,000 people that go to bed here at night, and during the day, we have about 36,000 people that work here. So as you can see, Jeffersontown is very busy day and night. Our downtown is growing very fast if you've not been through it, and I'm sure most of you have, because most of you probably griped because you sat in traffic. We got a brand new streetscape going on downtown. We've got a new amphitheater, and we also have a brand new police department, and we're very proud of that. We got a great leader. Rick Sanders is our chief here, and we're very proud of what's going on down there. J-Town is just one of the fastest growing communities in Kentucky, and we're proud, and I'm proud to be mayor, although it's new and it's all new for me, and I ask for guidance sometimes. But Daniel Ruckriegel once told me something, and for all of y'all that's been around here, Daniel Ruckriegel was the mayor that I came with in 1982. So I served as city council member from 82 till present. So I'm very old. So, but he told me something, and I'll never forget it. He said, surround yourself with people smarter than you, and you will look great. And I've got a great team and great people around, and I ask for people's help if I don't know what I'm doing. Thank you for coming today, and enjoy your dinner.
Great. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for the partnership that we have with the City of Jeffersontown. And now for our featured speaker. I'm really excited to partner with Miranda Construction and all of our sponsors here today on this special event. And to introduce the governor is Ryan Miranda, President of Miranda Construction.
I don't quite have the problem Carol did, so I think everyone can see me up here. Well, thank you all for joining us today, and on behalf of Jeffersontown Chamber and my Miranda Construction team, who, Carol, they all are smarter than me, trust me. We are honored to host Governor Andy Beshear. We appreciate the time he's taking out of his busy schedule to spend with us. Governor Andy Beshear is the 63rd governor of Kentucky. He is the son of Steve and Jane Beshear, the 61st governor. Governor Beshear grew up in Fayette, Franklin, Clark counties, and graduated from Henry Clay High School. He graduated magna cum laude from Vanderbilt University, and then he went on to the University of Virginia School of Law, where he was on the Dean's Scholar. Governor Beshear served as state attorney general from 2016 to 2019. Attorney General Beshear sued opioid manufacturers and distributors. He arrested a record number of child predators and structured training to help Kentuckians identify child predators in an effort to prevent child abuse and human trafficking. He made his top priority to end the state's rape kit backlog. Through settlements, he secured millions of dollars in funding to get kits tested and as much needed upgrades in the Kentucky State Police Crime Lab, helping prosecute and close cases. Governor Beshear took office in 2020 and immediately faced a number of historic challenges. First, we don't need to recall it, but it's all a global pandemic. Then the unusual and horrific EF4 tornado spanning 200 miles. And then, as if that wasn't enough, devastating floods. Beshear was this year's ham breakfast and noted that his job was not meant to move Kentucky to the right or to the left, but forward. He and his team are doing just that with our latest economic development stats. Nearly 1,000 new business investments bring over 46,000 jobs to Kentucky. Under Beshear's leadership, Kentucky ranks second in the country for economic development projects per capita and has been recognized for the two largest economic development and projects in the state history, including the battery manufacturing plants in Hardin County, bringing 5,000 new jobs and innovation to technology. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome Andy Beshear.
Thank you all. Oh, thank you. That is really good for my self-esteem. Thank you. I am excited to be here with you today back in Jefferson County. What the bio left out is that Brittany and I made Jefferson County our home for 15 years. I'm the first governor in decades to have proudly run saying he lived in Jefferson County. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for having me today, and I want you to know that I'm no stranger to Jeffersontown because I'm a travel baseball dad. And you all have a lot of businesses. You have a whole lot of baseball fields. And so we are here weekend in and weekend out. And not only do I get to watch Will's team play, but I recently got to host J-Town's 12 and under youth baseball team in the Capitol in Frankfurt to celebrate their amazing world championship win against Mexico. That was a great day. And you know what? We deserve great days. The question that I get asked the most is, Andy, did you have any idea what you were getting into? And my answer is always the same. No, did you? We have been through a historic level of adversity these past 4 years. A pandemic, tornadoes, floods, multiple ice storms, multiple windstorms, a polar plunge, negative 45-degree wind chill in Kentucky. We're dealing with inflation that, while temporary, is still tough on our families, and even the economic repercussions of a war in Europe. Something I thought I'd only read about in textbooks. But even with all of that adversity, I feel more confident and more optimistic about where we are going as a state today than I have at any time in my lifetime. I believe that we are going to see more prosperity coming our way in these next years than many of us could have ever imagined in many ways. It's like we're living out that 30th Psalm that says, weeping may linger in the evening, but joy comes in the morning. If you think about the fact that we had our first case of COVID March 6th in 2020, yet yesterday, we announced that we have the most Kentuckians employed in a job in our history at over 2 million. First time we've hit that mark. To think that as we sit here now, we have 57,000 more jobs than before the pandemic. I think we're going to be able to announce next week that tourism not just is back and has bounced back, but that we shattered every tourism record last year. More and more, we are seeing opportunities come our way. In many ways, it's the first time in my lifetime that all our surrounding states are looking at us with envy. They're saying, Kentucky, how are you doing this? And I'm looking back saying, I'm not telling you. But the answer isn't me, it's us. The chamber would tell you, as economic development group would tell you, as every business in here would tell you, when we relocate a company, when we expand an existing operation, it takes the work of so many people. That's from the land and the incentives, the infrastructure that's needed there. It's the chambers that welcome people in. It's the surrounding businesses that talk about what a great place it is to do business here. It's every family that might run into that CEO or owner. It's every park that we improve that improves the quality of life, because people are looking not just at where they're going to create jobs, but where they want to live. Now, every one of these records and marks that we are breaking, it's all of us. It's a true Team Kentucky accomplishment. So I hope you feel just as excited about the future as I do. And my goodness, you look at the larger area development district, last 3 years alone, $4 billion in new investments, 11,000 new jobs. You look at what Louisville draws, even when sometimes it's outside the county. We just announced our third battery manufacturer down the road in Shelbyville. Intervenue is going to start with about a $264 million investment. We believe it'll grow to $1 billion. 450 new jobs. You look at Vila North America, which put its headquarters right here in Jefferson County and then just opened Shelby County Copper Recycling Facility, $250 million, 225 new jobs. You look at IJW Whiskey Company, because last year bourbon broke every investment mark in our history, $2.1 billion in new investment, $500 million more than any previous year. And you can see exactly where our Commonwealth is going. But if we just came to Jefferson County, just these last 3 years, more than $2.8 billion in new investment, more than 8,534 new jobs. Now you can just walk out the door here and see headquarter after headquarter after headquarter that's moved here to Jeffersontown. But we know what's good for all of Jefferson County and all of Kentucky is good for this area and the entire Commonwealth. You look at just the last couple of years announcing Confluent Health, their new 350 jobs. Inexception, 200 jobs, $125 million. GE Appliances, $450 million investments, 1,300 new jobs. American manufacturing is back, and it's happening right here in Kentucky. UPS, in just one project, $155 million, 315 new jobs. Bigelow Tea Company, $53 million. Republic National Distributing Company, $50 million. American Synthetic Rubber Company, $48.3 million. Congo LLC, that makes the prime drink that my kids buy like crazy. They want to meet the influencers. I say absolutely not. announcing an expansion of their headquarters, 500 new Jefferson County jobs. We look at our traditional employers and how they continue to believe in us. Think about Ford. Think about Ford making one of the largest investments in the history of Jefferson County when they put $700 million into that truck plant to make the new 2023 Ford F-Series Super Duty truck. What that meant, and the fact that we will retain those jobs for decades to come, that they believed in us enough, that they wanted us to manufacture one of their best-selling vehicles that are out there. And as their CEO said, when we made that announcement, Kentucky is becoming the center of Ford's American operations. How about that? Ford didn't just stop there. As you know, they were a part of the largest investment in the history of the Commonwealth of Kentucky at nearly $6 billion, 5,000 new jobs. They and SK On are building the largest battery plant on planet Earth. You drive down 65, you see it, 60 football fields will fit in just that one building, and we're building its twin right next door. Ryan, that's a lot of construction. You look at 120,000 jobs for Kentuckians that just Ford's investment helps us to retain all over. Or we look at J-Town with Precision Services and what they've invested in Compass Health, $40.3 million investment, 42 new jobs. The truth is we are in the best economic role that this Commonwealth has ever seen. You look at last year, ranked number 2 in per capita economic development in the country. We were ranked number 3 in the creation of rural jobs too. Because while we want to create as many jobs as we can in the economic engine that Jefferson County is for Kentucky, we want to make sure this prosperity and these jobs reach every part. That's every part of our state. That's also every neighborhood in this city. So I got to tell you, one of the best groundbreakings I've been at was breaking ground on what will be the first new hospital in the west end of Louisville in 150 years. That's something pretty special we're doing. You know, along the way, 2021, our best year for economic development in our history by far, $11.2 billion in new investment, 18,000 new jobs. 2022, our second best year for economic development, $10.5 billion in new investment, 16,500 new jobs. I can tell you with confidence and even certainty today that this year will be at least our third best year for economic development in our history. And when you think about what that means, putting the first, second, and third best years all in a row, it means we can take years of good economic development and turn them into decades of prosperity. And you see it in so many other numbers that are out there. I mean, last year we set our lowest annual unemployment rate ever. Last month we set our lowest monthly unemployment rate ever. We've had our second and third best years for new wages that are out there. We have record budget surpluses and have been able to cut people's income taxes all at the same time. We have the largest rainy day fund in our history. And what that led to was the first bond rating upgrade for the Commonwealth of Kentucky in 13 years. Now, y'all know that means that we can borrow at a lower rate. We can save money on the bridges and the roads and the schools that we're building. It means that there's an outside group that is saying our economy is booming so much faster than others. But here's what it also means, because they talked about it in there. It means the promised retirements, the pensions of every teacher, police officer, law enforcement officer, every state, city, and county worker are safer than they've been in decades. That's a promise that we made. It's a promise that we're keeping, and continuing this booming economy again helps those that are working and helps those that paved the way. In fact, we just got one of our newest rankings in about 2 weeks ago. It's Site Selection Magazine's Prosperity Cup rankings. What states they believe are creating the most future prosperity for their families. They rank Kentucky 5th in the entire country, not per capita, 5th. And we were ranked number 1 in our region for the first time, leapfrogging these 2 other states you might have heard of called Tennessee and Texas. While we are building this prosperity, we've also worked really hard to address those challenges that have afflicted Kentucky, but oftentimes, those we need to help the most. Right now, we have fewer kids in foster care than we have any time in the last 3 years. The work that's put in, the preventative services, is working. We are keeping more families together. Last week, we learned we have the lowest recidivism rate in our history, which means fewer people coming out of our correction systems are reoffending. That means we are not only safer, but more people are rebuilding their lives, getting back with their families. We just celebrated, actually, at one of our correctional facilities, the Kentucky Correction Institute for Women, a new program with Simmons, where Simmons is going to help people get associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and what that means when people leave is an 80% employment rate typically. Again, rebuilding lives, getting back on track, and making our community safer, living out our faith and values. But this is the one that we all ought to be proud of. This drug epidemic that we face is the challenge of our times. It was created in our times, and I believe it's our job to address it and end it in our times. There are people here today that do this work each and every day, and we've tried to be the best partner we can be. It's everything from law enforcement in the last 7 months seizing enough fentanyl that could have killed up to 28 million people. They've seized that much in Kentucky alone. To us increasing our treatment beds across Kentucky by 50% in the last 3 years. To the National Guard that are down at the border doing their job on a federal mission. But it's everybody working together that led us to be in one of only 8 states in the country that saw a decrease in drug overdose deaths last year. That's our first decrease in about 4 years. Yeah. I think Ryan did a good job of talking about what our governing philosophy is. You know, there is so much noise right now. There's so much partisanship. There's so much division. Oftentimes there is so much anger. I believe that what government can do and should do right now is to bring people together on those things that are good for all of our families. Like he said, my job isn't to move this state to the right or to the left, but move it forward. That's how I tried to govern during COVID, knowing that this was an issue of life versus death. And listen, if it saved more lives and they ran me out of town, I was fine, because I care more about the judgment of my maker than I do about comments on Facebook. Don't read comments on Facebook. Definitely don't read comments on my Facebook. But just think about the programs that we've gotten passed through the General Assembly. Our Cleaner Water Program, $500 million of investment, 88,000 homes across Kentucky have better access, more reliable access to water, and 4,200 homes have running water for the first time in their history. Look at our broadband program, largest public investment in broadband that we've ever seen, and there's a lot more coming. I believe that I'll have the opportunity to be the governor with a little bit of help in November to bring broadband to every single home and every single business across Kentucky. I believe it's coming that fast. Look at what we're doing in roads and bridges across Kentucky, more than ever before. We are doing projects that they said were impossible, and we're doing a bunch of them at the same time. In many ways, we are living our Eisenhower moment, doing more infrastructure work that will benefit our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids than many of us could ever imagine. And we're facing our workforce challenges head on. Listen, I get that it's a challenging market out there, but if you go back to March of 2020, we would have prayed to have so many jobs. We were looking at how to fill more of them. That's why we launched our Everybody Counts program in Jefferson County. One, I believe, with a couple more years, will continue to grow and grow. What that program is based on is ensuring every single graduate from Jefferson County either is going on to higher ed and has dollars that they need to do it, or is placed in a job before they graduate. Think about the thousands of individuals that are there ready to work. If we provide the skills, if we ensure that they are healthy enough, but just think about what that can do to this county and our Commonwealth if we're able to make it happen. When we've got a good job for every Kentuckian that's willing to fill it, what can we do to address generational poverty? If we have a good job waiting for every single Kentuckian, what can we do to restore hope in areas that it's been lost? So we work every single day on public safety. I know it's something you think about, and it's something that I think about. In the long term, economic prosperity that we make sure reaches everyone will make this safer than we could have ever imagined. So I want to thank you for your work. mean, it is a pretty special time to look around and to see what's going on, to talk to restaurant owners who are booming like never before, construction that's as busy as they can be, professional services that are out there. We've got a chance to bring all of our businesses up to that next level while leaving no one out. We are sitting at a historic moment right now that I am convinced is as important as the dark, difficult one of the pandemic that we lived through, and it's one of how we embrace this prosperity. Because if we can do it the right way, making sure we have programs to include everyone, if we can get that historic moment right, absolutely everyone will want to be a part of what we've got going on in Kentucky. And I've heard it firsthand. I can't tell you how many CEOs have called me and said they tuned in after the tornadoes or after the flooding, and they tuned in to see the devastation, and sadly they saw it. My dad's hometown, 70% of every home, not just destroyed, wiped away. What they saw were really good people. They saw people pulling up into each other's driveways, getting out of their car, introducing themselves for the first time and saying, "How can I help?" They saw neighbors while the floodwaters were still high and could carry them away, carrying out other neighbors because they weren't going to leave anyone in that holler in their house if they couldn't make it out on their own. Listen, we can be the state we've always dreamed of. We can not just leapfrog 10 other states. We can be a top 10 state economy while still living the golden rule, that we love our neighbor as ourselves, and the parable of the Good Samaritan that says every single person is our neighbor. No ifs, ands, or buts. We can do it in a positive way. We can do it together. We can do it while tuning out the noise that they try to bring in to create division. And let me just tell you, while I'm here as governor, you're going to see me run a campaign about the future, about all of us, about including every single Kentuckian, not one that divides us, not one that picks on already marginalized kids, but one that stands up and serves every single Kentuckian. Now, I think that we can do this together just like we did that pandemic together, that we can move forward together in special ways, and that we can be the envy of the country in how we do it. Scripture tells us, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Everything that's going on in Kentucky right now is because of you, and maybe a little because of me. But when we are doing this many good things, there is enough credit for everyone. What our chance, what our opportunity is to be the generations that change everything for those that come after us, that fundamentally change the economy of this state to where we turn our brain drain into a brain gain. We never lose our talented young people ever again to other states. Instead, other states' talented young people move to Jeffersontown because that's where it's at. This is our chance to build that Commonwealth that we have always dreamed of. And we are putting in that work right now. So I'm really grateful to you. I'm really grateful for the invitation. And let's continue to do really big and really great things together. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Governor. As a recovering economic developer, you're speaking my language. So I'm really excited to have you. And just in appreciation of your time with us today, here's a little bit of Jeffersontown.
Thank you.
That you probably have to share with some folks that share your car.
I like that.
Or with Will, I'm not sure. But
He'll eat it.
anyway, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, just a couple of quick things as we wrap up here. First of all, I want to say this while the governor is here. You and I have shared this, but Tommy Elliott was a friend of mine and a friend of yours and the mayor's. Also, Jim Tutt was a really good friend of mine. And we had another crisis as a part of that crisis, and one of our Louisville Metro police officers was severely injured. We all know this, but we're really excited. The mayor and I are really excited to announce that Officer Wilt and his family are our grand marshals at this year's Gaslight Festival Parade. So I just wanted you to know that before you have to leave. And I know you have to go to your next thing, but I just wanted you to know we're celebrating them, and he's expected to be that well. So let's keep him in our prayers. Thank you, Governor. Also, very quickly, I just want to thank again all of our sponsors. Ryan, thank you so much for your company support. Darren Patrick with River City Eye Care, Karen and David Constantino with Park Community Credit Union, and Eric and the team at Excelicom. I know I haven't met everyone, but I did meet Eric, so thank you all for your support. And last but not least, I want to thank Kroger. So you have a beautiful centerpiece at your table. If you'll take just a second, and I'm going to do what I did to you at annual meeting, count off. Somebody just start with a 1 and work your way around to however many people are at your table. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to do that. Oh, sorry. Thank you. You ready? Okay. You get to take home the centerpiece if you are number 4. So if you're number 4, thank you, Kroger, for that. Katie and Jessica, thank you all so much for making that happen. And last but not least, I just want to thank my team who puts all this together. Casey Krause, Darren Epperly, Mitzel Dogelstein. Some of them are here, some of them might be downstairs. A big shout out to them. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend.
That was yours behind.
Oh, sorry, I was off my bed.
That's okay.